flagged offside by Phil Joslin.
Well, that's what they've got to do. Somebody's got to make the run. Somebody's got to get past. This is tight. I think it probably is just offside. It's Tony Adams coming back, but well, it's not even tight, is it, really? Well off. But somebody's got to make those runs. Rob Lay and Speed are the two obvious ones, Martin. But Arsenal have won the first little battle because it's Newcastle that have had to change the way they set out.
There's that misplaced pass by Petit, and that's a rarity in the way the game has been shaped so far. And how quickly Arsenal recover. Well, the Toon Army are quiet at the moment. Wonderful fans. It is a goldfish bowl existence for the Newcastle United players. Way of life for the supporters. They want to know every minute of every day what's going on at the club. And they've had their appetites whetted by finishing twice in the Premiership and second place in the two previous seasons. They'll be desperately hoping that it's not going to be a runners-up situation again here today in the FA Cup final. Remember, Newcastle haven't won it since 1955. It's a great era for the club. 3 FA Cups in 5 seasons. Malka feels that tackle from behind got him before the ball. The referee didn't see it that way.
I don't think Arsenal are too worried about Newcastle popping the ball about in this middle third. I just wonder, are they going to get the ball high enough up the pitch, wide enough for that man? I think the one thing he thrives on is service. He worked his socks off for his team. He's shown us that. He puts everything into his game, but if you've got an Alan Shearer, you need to provide him with some sort of service.
Lee, he's lost it to Overmars of all people.
Well, I thought he'd hit that, man. I thought when the gap arrived 18 yards from goal, you've just scored. I thought he'd just pull the trigger.
Adams. It wasn't really Nigel Winterburn's ball, but he didn't pull out. Rob Lee inquiring of the referee.
Yeah, I thought he might have had a case, Rob Lee. I thought he just jumped at him. Nigel, you're right, he was never getting there. Rob Lee was always winning his header.
Doesn't say much, Nigel Winterburn. Lets his football do the talking. It's his 11th season at Arsenal. He's had some good runs too, but surely this has been the best. Free kick to the Gunners. We've hit the target once already. Petit. He's almost surprised that that came his way. Winterburn. Vieira coming to get the ball, knowing that Gary Speed was behind him, but taking the direction of the pass. Just guilty of overplaying in their own half then. Newcastle trying to get the ball directly up to Shearer. He says that Adams fouled him. Of course, Alan Shearer has to live with the situation now about every complaint that he makes. It's Arsenal who are complaining now, but it's a foul on Dabizas by Anelka. Pistone. Barton getting further forward to try and give Shearer some sort of ally.
Yeah, there's a fighting ball, isn't it? For the majority at the moment, anything that's coming up to Shearer is a scratching ball, it's a high ball. He's got a battle against two really good competitors in the air.
Speed. Gets by. Overmars almost taking too long. Well, he has taken too long in some sense, and as he played the ball, he was challenged.
It's one of those feet. Yeah, it's one of those where he's clearing the ball and actually catches Rob Lee's put with his follow-through.
Barton. Overmars is in no position to chase back on Pistoni. If Warren Barton could have just played that back in field.
But this is the kind of area where you feel Newcastle must get the ball into, Martin.
Barton hooks it in. It's misjudged by Shearer. Parler too strong for Ketspire. There's a ball on for Anelka here. Just over hit. Overmars is still not running freely. Did you just play round him here, Newcastle, but Lee decides to go back infield to Batty. Howie, a real stop-start season for him. Keown climbing. He's not wanting even a throw to go against Arsenal, but he couldn't keep it in. And Newcastle were last here for an FA Cup final in 1974. They were comprehensively beaten by Liverpool. If Arsenal were to get another goal in this first half, the same thing could happen here, you feel. But Stuart Pearce will have other ideas, and there's bags of fighting spirit in the side wearing the black and white stripes. And there's David Batty. He has a goal in this cup run. He's sealed the win in the quarter-final against Barnsley. We'll be back at Wembley next Saturday. England's last game in this country before the World Cup finals. It's against Saudi Arabia. I'm sure you'll want to watch it with us if you haven't got a ticket. Sky Sports 2 at 2. Good climb by Dabizas. That's one of his strengths. Martin Keown unchallenged. Dabizas again. Pearce. Shearer's gone across well to turn it infield to Gary Speed. That was a bit unlucky.
It was a lovely layoff. Super one touch from Shearer. That's the kind of work you're so unselfish with. But you want your number 9, you want your England number 9, Martin, if he's playing at your club side, to have better stats than that after, what, close on 40 minutes of an FA Cup tie.
Of course, he's had some wonderful times here with England, but not in club football. He's lost at Wembley with Southampton, with Blackburn and with Newcastle. Got to change sometime, he'll be feeling. Batty is trying to increase the tempo through Newcastle's midfield. He's quite satisfied with the angles further forward, so it went to Pistoni. Martin, whose versatility has been well used by Newcastle since Kenny Dalglish took over from Kevin Keegan. Rather given up on Warren Barton for a spell, funnily enough after an incident when Newcastle lost at Arsenal. Keown saying he got the ball, but the referee was only a few yards away. Martin Keown perplexed. Newcastle have a free kick.
Well, you can bet your life
Seaman's goal.
You bet your life Shearer will have a strike on target now. Yeah, I think that's a free kick, there's no doubt about that.
Well, it is the sort of angle that Alan Shearer has found to his liking on plenty of occasions in the past. He's scored 15 Wembley goals for England. A chance for him to equalise for his beloved Newcastle United. Plenty of whip on it, but too much height.
That's a decent hit. It's got pace, just lacks a bit of accuracy. It looked like David Seaman was pretty much across to it, had it been on target. But it's his first, it might just not be his last now.
Well, this is a day to drink in the occasion again, because you aren't going to see Wembley like this for an FA Cup final too often after this. One more, they believe, before the development starts. Of course, it may be an even more impressive stadium when the reconstruction, redevelopment is finished. But this is how we all see FA Cup final day. Pistone, that's wasted.
Well, that is a pity. That is the best piece of football they've put together in 41 minutes of the FA Cup final. They worked the ball really well into the area that you want, and that's where Overmars has a feeling that he doesn't track players, but they put up with that. But when you get there, you've got to deliver better quality than that.
Remember the cross he put in the 5th round, was it? From the other side against Tranmere. Alan Shearer won the match with a header. Parlour could pinch it, and he's got behind Pearce. Good control from Christopher Ray.
Good hit, a little unlucky. Again, Parlour, what a first half he's had. Majority of the good things that have haven't come from Overmars has got the goal, Martin. It's been Parlour who's been involved in the majority of good things, and again he was there. First of all, pinching it, then feeding Ray. He just sat up a little when he controlled it. It meant he got underneath it a little. It was never coming down.
Pistone trying to clip it into Barton, but it's comfortably seen off by Winterburn, and then Petit caught in possession, and Adams has to put it out.
That's where they don't mess. That's where Adams and Keown and people like that give a great example. They'll hold back four about how to defend. If there's any doubt, safest place in the world where Tony Adams put it. Not trying to fiddle with it and beat players, but in the stand with it, get back in, shape, concentration, and they won it back.
Well, Alan Shearer sets high standards and usually delivers to high standards himself, but he knows that in a couple of opportunities for Pistone in the last couple of minutes to do rather better than he has done. No Keith Gillespie today for Newcastle. I think Arsenal were relieved about that. Ironically, it was a Tottenham player, it was Colin Calderwood, who inflicted the injury that Gillespie hasn't recovered from in that league game last month at White Hart Lane. Some 90 seconds plus stoppage time to go to half-time. Was that hold-up when Stuart Pearce needed the blood wiped from his face?
Well, if it stays like this, it'll be interesting to see what, if anything, Kenny Dalglish does at half-time, Martin.
Speed. Nice turn by Lee. Barton slipped, almost got it back into Rob Lee's path. Adams in control again. Vieira feeding it in to Ray. Cavizas committed himself and showed good judgment. Well, Newcastle have lost the ball well forward, and Overmars could threaten them again here. He's got Parlour just inside. Ray Parlour, who's actually had the best scoring season of his career, had a chance to get a goal that no one would ever forget.
He's had the best season of his career, Mark, not just the best goals. And again, he makes up great ground here. And this time, Overmars doesn't look to beat the player. It's a perfect layoff, absolutely perfect to hit. Lets it come across onto his right foot. But much like Christopher Ray, got underneath it just a touch. And when that starts to rise like that, well, very rarely comes back.
Adams. Been telling me in the Arsenal camp how much Tony Adams has been going around the players over the past couple of days, just emphasising what's at stake today. Ones who haven't been here before.
They're winning the match, Martin, in the biggest area there is today, and that's that midfield, right across the middle of it. See, I think he's lucky to get away with that, Tony Adams. I think he's using all his experience. I think he's going up early. I think he's just making sure. There he goes. He's up early. Look at that. The ball's no. There's the ball. He's just saying, I'm going up early. I'm getting my arms over you. You ain't getting ahead of here. I think that's experience. I think it could easily be a free kick. Easily.
In goes Ray. And, header from Parla. It's easier to give decisions in this part of the pitch. And Martin Keown catching Ketsbaia. Stoppage time at the end of the first half.
But it's across that midfield area that, you know, Parla and Overmars and the two Frenchmen, Petit, Vieira, have really excelled. I think after 15 minutes or so, they just started to dominate the game.
Shearer was late. Alan Shearer, of course, has been making the headlines for that incident at Leicester. He's been cleared on that count, we should point out. But he's got a booking here. That was frustration showing.
Yeah, it was, because again he got blocked out. But as it comes across, I mean, I think it's a, you know, it's one of them. We see it in super slow motion here, Martin, and he's going in for it. He's only fractionally late in getting across. When you're fully committed and flying in at a sort of pace that both of them were, sometimes it is only a fraction of a second that you're out.
But maybe it's a challenge he wouldn't have made if that earlier incident hadn't happened. Newcastle go off to regroup in the dressing room and hear what Kenny Dalglish has to say. Arsenal have been much the more threatening side in the first half, with the pace of Anelka and, of course, the goal scorer Mark Overmars at the halfway point at the half after they'd already wasted a golden opportunity through Nicholas Anelka's header. Then Overmars sped in front of Pistone and kept the ball down through the legs of Shay Given. Arsenal are a step nearer the League and Cup double at half-time at Wembley. They lead Newcastle by 1-0.
Starting next Saturday on Sky Sports 2. The last 3 crucial friendlies before the start of France '98. For every Englishman, young and old, who's ever dreamt of playing in a World Cup, now's the time to decide who is going to go to France. Ford International Football presents an essential week in England's quest for World Cup glory, exclusively live on Sky Sports 2.
We see. We hear. We feel. We can even sense things. But for some reason, some of us sense more than others.
Elliot, man! Isotonic Lucozade sport drinks are designed for top athletes. They get energy to the muscles fast. Tests show they increase their stamina and so improve sporting performance. Lucozade Sport. Dedicated to sport.
So, this will be a quiet night out for the lads then.
Which is why preparation is essential. Because you never know when you'll need that high-performance footwear. Never ask them what sign they are. You know the answer.
Get lost.
Still, won't matter in the morning. For at least 2 seconds.
We're the Blues Brothers. The Blues Brothers are back, and they're bigger than ever before. Run away! Blues Brothers 2000.
I'm going to
just want a bloke to be sharp.
A bit brighter than me, perhaps, so he can catch me out sometimes.
Gotta be clean. Smelly men and not nice men. I like the type that's into nature.
Yeah, outdoorsy.
I think he's got to be into nature. I like people like that.
I like my man to pay attention to what he wears.
Sometimes you want to be able to be in together and enjoy each other's company. I just like a bloke who could just show how he feels. Well, he doesn't have to be the best looking bloke on the earth or anything, but as long as he makes a bit of effort, then that's okay.
The best club anthems ever, 35 classic club hits on the greatest mix of all time. It's the best club anthems ever, 3. It's all new, it's out now. It's gotta be the best club anthems ever, 3.
It is said he is to computer software what Thomas Edison is to the light bulb. The software Bill Gates developed runs 2/3 of the computers in the world. And on the day he turned 41, his company, Microsoft, was the 6th largest company in the U.S. Where in today's world do you find companies capable of such astonishing growth? Actually, they're listed in the Financial Times. NASDAQ, the stock market for the next 100 years.
Nicolas Cage, John Cusack, John Malkovich, Con Air. Own it on video now.
Thank you and have a pleasant flight.
Wilkinson Sword bring you technology in 3 dimensions. The new Protector 3D. Its wire-wrapped blades now move in 3 ways for the optimum balance of safety and closeness. Protector 3D from Wilkinson Sword. The feel of smart design. In a fresh new line of performance toiletries.
The Gunners are halfway there. Wembley Stadium, our venue today. The FA Cup final we are watching between Arsenal and Newcastle United. A goal from Mark Overmars separates the teams. And Arsenal, you'd have to say, have had the better of it so far. One name in the referee's notebook, that of the England skipper, Alan Shearer. Possession. Arsenal's action areas, Arsenal have dominated and they lead by a 1-0. Don't forget our special Man of the Match competition today. If you get involved later, there is a chance that you could win a VIP trip for 2 to the World Cup final between July the 11th and 13th. The final, of course, is on the 12th. We'll give you the number in the second half. Alan Smith, Gordon Strachan and Chris Waddle, our guests here today. And Chris, a word about Newcastle first of all. It's uphill now, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought it started great. They went and pressed Arsenal, didn't let them settle. Good tempo at the start of the game. Passed it well, but it's all about the final third. You've got to put the ball in the box with quality. Alan Shearer lives on it, and if you look at the game, apart from Kidspai's shot in the first half, they haven't put the ball in the box with any quality for Alan Shearer to get onto.
Arsenal seemed to get a head of steam up, Alan, from the moment really that Anelka had the opportunity with the header, which Andy said was easier to score with than miss, and I think he's right, isn't he? But look at where it started, way back. Good move,
wonderful move, yeah. You know, the Newcastle players are pressing in at this stage, but passing the ball beautifully on that Wembley surface, and Ray Parlour, who's been outstanding all season, beats his man to present a golden opportunity for Anelka, but maybe too early in the match it came to him.
No surprise though, Gordon, was it, when Arsenal edged in front?
No, not at all. I think the problem with some of the Newcastle players, they really didn't believe it. We had 85 at a team meeting, so we need to be braver on the ball. But Shearer and Batty were closing the ball down brilliantly to start with. But then the other people behind them weren't believing, and then they were getting some spaces in behind in the midfield Arsenal. If the people believed, they would have done better. That, if you're a coach, if you watch that game from that move from the side, it's everything you're saying to a striker. What do you need to spin? You need time on the ball with a guy who's got it. You need a defender close to you. There's no covering player, and there's room in behind. The centre-half should have been across there, because the ball couldn't get played diagonally. It could only played across that channel. If you watch the centre-half, he's caring about his own man. He should have been across there covering Pistone, giving Pistone the right to go as close as that, and then it's okay, it's not a problem. Anything that comes out the top, the guy sweeps it away. But it's a great coaching point, also a great coaching point for defenders to say, well, if you get like that, you get across, cover him, Pistone can go in. But it was a great understanding what you do when you're the striker with some defender right close to you. You say, well, I don't want him to my feet, he's coming for me, I'll spin him behind. You can only do that if there's no covering player. There wasn't a covering player there.
Alan Shearer got a little frustrated. Was it as a result of what he felt was a foul that didn't go his way?
Yeah, look, you look at the height of the ball, obviously, you can't see anything. I mean, Tony Adams is a fair bit ahead.
It was outside anyway, wasn't it? If it was a foul.
Alan's backed into him a bit, and that's made Tony obviously come over the top. Tony Adams watching the ball and he's jumping. Alan's backed into him a little bit, and obviously Tony's ended up going over the top.
Is there a way back for them?
Of course, there's. I've got to believe. I'd like to see maybe introduction of maybe John Barnes on the left wing and maybe switch catch by over the right or something like that. Get a bit width, but you know, with John Barnes, he can put quality balls in. And Alan Shearer needs service.
1-0, Arsenal lead, halfway to the double. Mark Overmars' goal separates the team. There's work to be done for the Toon Army. Big work. We'll be back with the whole of the second half in a moment or so.